for them, and I suppose clients could have an objection if he says even the slightest wrong thing, and it could put the agency at risk or something like that.
This is why I've always worked corporate, because
there's corporate risk there too.
Bad people, because questionable people.
I'm hearing an echo. Where am I
That's
hearing
you.
an echo?
I only hear an echo coming from you, Jan.
Interesting. Okay. Do you still hear it now?
Nope.
You hear the echo now?
Nope.
Okay, I still hear
How is he going to drop like 2 days after they make Watson their starting quarterback? Because that's just pure gold.
I mean, what's there to talk about? He's a great quarterback.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
All right. So here's what I need to happen now is that I need to go on to studio. YouTube, hold on one second. Over.
So I've been nursing I guess you can call it a surgically repaired foot for like the past 2 months now.
Yeah, how's that going?
It sucks.
Yeah.
And oh man, it's terrible. And here's the thing. I can't imagine, like, the weirdest thing is trusting this foot again, because it I'm sure you guys are smarter than me. It happens in such a progression as far as your recovery rather than steps. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm going to wake up one day and I'm going to feel like 80% better. And I'm going to wake up another day and I'm going to feel 90% better. I'm going to wake up another day and I'm going to be hop, skipping, and jumping. Whereas, like, you really can't feel the progression as much as, like, watching the grass grow or the paint dry. But every now and again you test it and you see, like, oh, that's not that bad, or oh shit, like, that really hurts. And I'm still in that stage. But for these athletes, I don't, now going through it, it must be such a nightmare to go through the process of, like, titrating up, like, oh, I can put 50% of my weight on it and it hurts this bad. Okay. Now I can put 60% of my weight on it and it hurts this bad. I mean, that just must be a fucking nightmare, because it must go on for months.
Well, real quick, guys. Sorry to interrupt. Chris, can you do me a favor? Excuse me, not Chris. Rob, can you do me a favor? Can you talk real quick for me?
You want me to talk as quickly as I can, or you just for a brief moment to talk? I can do either. Okay. I'm not getting guidance here, so I'm just going to talk at my normal rate.
Okay, it looks like we're good on audio.
Okay.
So that's all I was trying to do, was make sure that we were good on audio. And now I can go back to the starting soon and then transition. want us for imperfections is exactly it. Awesome. Hey guys, welcome to AFC Northerners. We are back. It is just following week 2 of preseason. We have everybody here tonight except for DGBG. He unfortunately could not join us, which heartbreaker, but we're excited to, discuss Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Steelers football. Like, it's been quite an interesting week. Lots of things. Since DGBG is not here, then what I was thinking about doing was basically talking about the points that he gave me, because we talked briefly I talked briefly with DGBG, our Browns guy, today, and he said, and I quote, "I am fine with Deshaun Watson starting as QB number 1." He said that Sanders didn't look ready, and that he thinks that Watson's the right call at this point in time. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to get reactions from you guys on that.
Well, go ahead, Chris.
Wait, Chris, I want to go with you because your head went crazy when I said that.
There's so much there. I mean, let's start with the sound bites over the past few days from Watson about getting booed and it just really hurting his feelings. That's the type of shit you just can't say after you accept a $250 million check. Like you can't then go back and say this hurts my feelings after that kind of expectation from a team. So we'll start there. Second, I mean, was the play phenomenal for the level of play that was on the field at the time? Absolutely not. Was
horrible play.
Sanders?
I would say flat out horrible play.
Let's just call it that.
Like, I wish DGB were here because I want him to, like, I want him to stand up for his opinions.
Was Watson head and shoulders above Sanders? I didn't watch the film very closely, so I can't say one way or another.
I watched the game. I watched everybody's game 3 times. It condensed.
Mm-hmm. You watched everybody's game 3 times condensed?
I watched the Bengals game, I watched the Steelers game, I watched the Ravens game, I watched the Browns game. I watched the condensed version, so they were 34 minutes each, basically. I watched them 3 times, went through the notes because I was trying to calm baby. I have a brand new baby, 3-week old.
I remember that.
And so, you're like, okay, we're gonna watch
the best way.
Things. Yeah. I found out that my baby, that he likes football and he likes house music, so that's cool.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
good taste.
Look, I mean, was the level of play commensurate with a veteran leader? Absolutely not. So, I mean, do you give a guy a chance? What was Shedeur bad? I don't think so. I think he made some plays there. I think they're going to be a running team as they have been for the past decade and a half or 2 decades now. I mean, I think that they're with the exception of
Baker.
What was the receiver's name? Josh. Can't think of his last name right now. But the Browns don't win games by throwing the ball. They win games by running the ball and then playing solid defense. It's going to be the same this year. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I tend to agree. But I think that, like, the thing that stuck out most to me in that was really just, I thought that there was a better cadence coming from Shedeur, and I'm not even a Shedeur fan, but he's kind of making me more of a fan just by his personality. Like, he really is kind of being a really, genuinely cool individual about most of this. I really saw more out of Shedeur, but DGBG's probably would have picked that apart. But I saw more of Shedeur than I did Watson. I thought Watson made some really, like, there were a couple of darts, but nothing that I saw that made me go, yeah, right, this is the guy. This is your guy. So I think that it's all about money. I think it's all about money.
So 2 things. I mean, just to, like, kind of put a bow on my thought. Sorry if you're about to jump in there, Rob, but one is, there's 11 other guys on offense, and, they have a say, believe it or not, as far as who that leader is that's under center for them. So, that locker room must feel like Watson is the best chance at winning for that club. We'll see how that goes. But funny, not funny, kind of interesting. This whole Dylan Gabriel thing, I mean, for to have once been the starter to now not be talked about in the conversation of the starter, I mean, that's a hell of a roller coaster, man. Like, I feel bad for the way his career has trajected there in Cleveland. I mean, those are the kind of things that the guys in college talk about right before the draft, when it's like, who don't you want to go to? Well, I saw this happen to Dylan Gabriel. I don't think I want to go see that up close.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to either. For me, it was just, I mean, first of all, they were playing against. Let's talk the Browns preseason week 2 game from my perspective. Like, they're playing the Bills, right? So they're up against like a really good team, even with their second stringers. Yeah, I mean, their second stringer quarterback is still named Allen.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so fun times, everybody. But for me, it was really about, like, I was actually really trying to find out more about what their identity on defense is now that they've got a new DC. I will say that, like, Todd Monken, it was really, truly, I saw a Todd Monken offense. The one touchdown that was in the end zone to the tight end that nobody saw. It's a classic Todd Monken. The way the run game was structured, classic Todd Monken. I wasn't super impressed with their run, but their offense could be humming. I just don't know that. I don't know if Monken knows how to use weapons in the NFL like he did in college. Like, I really think that's the question I still have from, whenever he was with the Ravens, because he was with the Ravens for 2 years until last year. And so, I just didn't see a lot of Deshaun Watson that made me go, yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy.
So I have a few questions. One is, like, so I didn't get the sense that you thought Shador was clearly better, just more likable.
I think that he made some better throws. It felt like he was just a little bit more in sync. He didn't, like, not as many of his passes went into the dirt, put it that way.
Mm-hmm. But, for the Raiders are going to start Kirk Cousins. A lot of people think after like 4 games, they're going to have Fernando Mendoza in there. I'm guessing Kirk Cousins probably looks better than Deshaun Watson in terms of, like, how good a quarterback he is. Maybe not. It's okay. You're thinking maybe not. So, like,
yeah.
What's the Browns' early schedule? Like, is it difficult? Like, is Deshaun like a sacrificial lamb so that you can get Shador there once they've gotten through some really heavy weather? That's one question I have. And the other question is, like, you said it was all about money. I mean, I want to know what you mean by that, because the money's going to be paid regardless of whether they play him or not.
The Haslams don't want to feel like they've wasted $280 million.
Yeah, so it's not exactly about money. It's more about embarrassment.
That's a fair take. Sure. I would say that, like, it's about the money because the money is embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Like saving face a little bit there.
Yeah. Like, their week 1, by the way, is so they go against their last week of preseason is against the Patriots.
Last week of preseason, okay.
Yeah, and then it's the Jags, the Bucks, the Panthers, then the Steelers, and then the Jets. So the Jags, meh. Bucks, maybe.
Meh.
Panthers.
Hold on. When you're saying meh or maybe, you mean how good they are?
Yeah.
I think the Jags are good.
They're not bad. They're meh.
I think they're better than meh. They're meh plus.
Really? Maybe for that division.
Well, no. I mean, Liam Cohen's a really clever coach. And
I think they're mid-meh.
They're mid-meh?
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
They're just like a solid meh?
They're like a solid meh. They're a solid meh. I'll give them a solid meh.
I think they're better than meh.
Here's the thing. I think on a
wait
really
a second. What's above meh? What's above meh?
I think on a really good day they're top 10. On a really bad day they're bottom 10. So it's like, there's a gap there between good and bad for them.
Do you see them as like a playoff caliber team or not?
Well, I'm going to get into this about the Steelers for a second because I really think a good bit of their season is predicated on one guy's injury and how he's responded to that. And for the Jags, I want to see how is what's his name going to recover from last year? Like, I know he's back on the field. Yeah, Hunter. I want to, like, how is he going to recover from last year? How is he going to be used on that team ultimately this year? Like, does he have his identity yet on that team? And I think in his head, yes, but to be seen on the field, maybe.
Well,
I
mean, they were 13-4 pretty much without him last year.
I mean,
like, that's not going to happen again. But I could see them being 10-7.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so thinking back on
mid-meh.
Okay, so 10-7 for you is mid-meh. I mean,
yes.
To me, meh.
Maybe they're a team that feels worse than they really are. Maybe that's totally a thing. I can totally admit that, like, there are teams.
No, I think that about
worse.
the Steelers. They're a team that feels worse
I
than they really are.
Outside of the playoffs is mid-meh. But I think, like, your last couple wild card teams are like meh
like
plus.
The 7? Meh plus. 7 is meh plus. Unless it's like the Panthers, right? The Panthers last year were 8-9. They were probably meh. But they almost beat the Rams. So
meh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So real quick, I just wanted to go through the numbers. Shedeur Sanders, 9 for 11 passing for 75 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Deshaun Watson, 5 for 12 passing for 35 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. So on the numbers, I just don't see.
And the fumbles too. You didn't mention the fumbles.
Yeah, like I really didn't. Like, Sanders started the game and really looked poised in the pocket to me, especially through the first half. Well, he was only in for the first half, but got off to a start, went 8 for 8, connecting with the touchdown to Luke Floria in the touchdown. Totally was a Monken play. I've seen that a million times with the Ravens. We did it like with Charlie Kolar last year, that same exact play that went for a touchdown. And I think the biggest issue was like whenever DeMar Hamlin picked him right off, like that was a interception that he just threw just a little bit behind his tight end. And then Watson, he took over in the third quarter, and I could not see any rhythm in him. I did not see his first two drives, 3 and outs. Interception came off a way high thrower in the middle. And the crowd legitimately booed him. Like, you can hear it. You can hear the crowd booing, and like they're not like Deshaun Watson's just like, he's just a little bitch. He's just a little bitch.
Look, there's so much to like about him.
So much.
But it's maybe then, like, is this just a kind of instant tanking? Are they just trying to like get the
That's what
pick?
It feels like.
I mean, I feel like Todd Monken must have been told, look, if you don't do well with Deshaun or Shedeur, that's okay. That's not on you. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Would they say, like, surely they're going to give him more than a year, even if he like totally craps the bed. Look at his quarterbacks. And he might have good.
I wonder how that conversation goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I would bet you that they're pretty straightforward.
Especially in Cleveland.
Oh, in Cleveland? Well, I think Cleveland in 2023 they were 11-6. Like, they got to the playoffs. They were pretty good with Mr. Flacco, world's best backup quarterback.
Yeah. Flacco's no joke, man.
Flacco's no joko.
Flacco's no joke.
It was funny whenever Njoku loved Flacco. I love seeing that when he was with the Browns. Like, you could just see Njoku going, "You're my dude." So, but no,
all right.
I gotta say that, like, the thing that stood out to me most in the Browns-Bills game was just how bad the Browns defense looked.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
But I mean, they're probably calling pretty vanilla
Sure,
stuff,
they're
right?
second stringers, third stringers, I get it. But like, they could not stop anything. Like the Bills just plowed through them.
Okay, I have a question I want to ask you. Now this is a good time to ask. How informative do you think preseason games are?
I think that's the ultimate question. I think they're informative I think they're informative in a couple of ways for me personally. And I'll let Chris answer because I'd actually really love to hear Chris's answer and yours, Rob's. For me, they're informative because you get to see players on the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
They're informative because you kind of get the idea on scheme, right? Like, what's the scheme gonna similarly look like? Where they kind of, you're not gonna see like you'll see some plays that might work in like regular season, and you might see them trying some of them out, but if they are, it's some hybrid bastardization of what they are going to become. But even from that, you can kind of understand, are they going with like 2 tight end scheme, 3 tight end scheme, 3 wide receivers? How are they, what are they putting out there most, as far as like, their the play calls. And you also get to see, who's the, like, really, you get to see how they're thinking about managing the time, the clock, and coaching stuff, right? You can kind of get a feel for, how the offense and defense is communicating. Like you can kind of see that, like they've been through all of training camp, so they should really be like honing in, especially after the first and second preseason game, should be honing into their communication. So I really look to see, is the defense talking to each other? How is the offense talking to each other? How is the quarterback communicating? And is he communicating that he's changing the plays? How is he reading coverages? Things like that. Because the coaches have trained them that if they see a thing that they need to do this, right? And do this instead. And so that's kind of what I look at from it. Other than that, like all of that can change in a moment. And once you get playing into your scene, you may find out what your team really is, and the whole identity could change. So, that's my answer. Chris, what do you feel?
When I look at preseason games, first, mentally, I make the distinction between the team level and a player level. And in my mind, the team level value is extremely low in a preseason game. I mean, if you win all 3 preseason games, I don't feel like that has any impact on your season, Cleveland Browns or Detroit Lions. Like, I don't feel like the Detroit Lions are now going to go win. And I'm not talking about this season. I mean, in the past, when the Lions would like win out all 4 games of the preseason just to go get shellacked for the next, 7 to 10 weeks straight before eking out a win later on in the season. So I don't think the preseason has much value from a team level or perspective. Where I do see that value is at the individual level. And what I think about is what is that level of talent from one player to the next. So as an example, like God forbid if someone does have to go with their second or third string quarterback, having now seen him in the preseason, I kind of have an idea of what to expect, albeit, very, very different once the speed of the game gets turned up to NFL regular season. So when I'm watching the preseason games, I'm looking at guys. I'm looking at positions. I'm looking at guys that I know that are on the bubble, guys that I think are retiring, or guys that are rookies that are trying to work their way onto the team. So as an example, for this preseason, I've been watching left tackle Broderick Jones, very, very closely. After having his neck surgery last year, I wanted to see exactly how he was going to perform. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that as we get more and more into the Steelers' performance over the past couple preseason games. But from a preseason perspective, means absolutely nothing to me personally. From a team perspective, I'm looking at the position battles, who's moving up, who's moving down, who can actually play, who's someone that you just kind of want to get on the field for whatever reason. Like Hollywood Brown, like that's someone that like you could tell in a preseason you want to get this guy on the field somewhere, somehow. How, we'll figure that out later, but we
Is
can tell
Hollywood
we want
Brown
to
with
get
the
this
Eagles
guy.
now?
I think you're right.
I think he's with the Eagles. I think we played him in the preseason
But like
game.
I'm saying early on in his career with Baltimore, I'm watching the Baltimore preseason games like, yo, they got to get this dude on the field. Like they got to get this ball. They got to get this dude the ball somehow in the regular season.
Yeah, I'm with that. What about you, Rob?
First of all, Hollywood Brown is an Eagle. So good on you, Jan. Yeah, like I did look into this a bit in the sense that I'm sure people have looked into this for years, but I just did want to know because the Bengals always do poorly in the preseason record-wise. And part of that I just figured was starting slow because they always start slow under Zach Taylor anyway. But no, there's just no correlation whatsoever between your record in the preseason and your record in the regular season. That said, when I was watching and reading about the Bengals games, I would sort of look at some players and I would think, okay, like that guy looks surprisingly good. Like Landon Robinson, 7th round pick. He was sort of just doing really well. And, to some extent, you can't tell for sure if the guy's doing well because the person he's up against is like doing a scheme that is not complicated or anything. But some players seem to distinguish themselves in preseason and other players do badly. And what I'm trying to figure out is like, I think at the extremes, it might be informative. If some player seems to do extremely poorly, like keeps on getting beat, like if they're an O-lineman or something, or keeps on dropping the ball if they're a wide receiver, I think that probably is informative, regardless of the scheme. So maybe it's the sort of thing where kind of like your athletic traits or your technique, your technical skills, like, well, to the extent you rise or fall to or below the occasion, it sort of might tell you something about how this player is doing right now and maybe what the potential is. But I like what Chris said about it doesn't actually tell you that much about the team. It tells you more about individuals. But even about individuals, like in the first preseason game, for reasons that are kind of mysterious, Zach Taylor decided to play our starters for a couple series, and they didn't really look good. I mean, Dexter Lawrence didn't look good, but in the Bears joint practice, he was dominant. And in the Bengals training camp, he's been dominant. And, Burrow was 5 for 6, but the under center stuff wasn't looking great. But then again, they're not going to spam under center in the regular season. They're going to incorporate it into the shotgun stuff as well. So I would say overall, preseason doesn't tell you that much, but because it happens after such a long football drought, everybody wants to read the tea leaves and see all these things in it that probably aren't there. So, especially if a first stringer gets beaten by a second stringer or something like that, you're like, oh no. But there's a guy on the Athletics Bengals comment section named Nate S, who really is a scout. I guess we know that now because he was on Paul Dehner Jr.'s Growler podcast, which is affiliated with the Athletic. And he was saying that, he used to be a former player and now he's a scout. And he was saying that it's the joint practices that are much more important than the preseason games. The preseason games are mainly for money because a lot of season ticket holders, they'll get that game or whatever. And, it's a way to sort of please fans. But the joint practices, you get way more reps and you try more complicated stuff and and the people who you're going up against try a lot harder than they do in the preseason games. Apparently, he said that when he was a player, they would call them walkthrough games. That's what they call the preseason games, like a walkthrough practice. So
yeah,
I think that's only on a few rare occasions can you tell much from preseason. And like Chris was saying, it's only for a few individuals, ones who do extraordinarily well or poorly. So that's my overall take.
Got you. Yeah, I'm with you there. So, with all that being said, I still don't think Deshaun Watson should be the quarterback. And I think the Browns defense doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. And I'm really curious to see how Todd Monken tries to right that ship. Did you guys watch? Did either one of you watch the Browns game?
No, I stay away from those.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
I caught the highlights of it. I caught the highlights of that one and the Ravens, I think.
Yeah. I mean, highlights if you want to call them highlights. But yeah, no, it's to me. I just don't think the Browns have an identity yet. I haven't seen an identity from them.
I know that DGBG is like thinks the Browns are going to be pretty competitive this year, like 6 wins or 8 wins. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I hear about it, I'm thinking like 3. I think they're really bad this year. And I think they're going to have a really bad quarterback. Their rookie wide receivers might be good, but it's hard, like given that quarterback situation. And if the defense is probably not going to be terrible, right? I imagine it'll be above average, but I don't know. I just don't see much in the offense at all. I mean, what's his face? Jared Verse? Is that who they got? Jared Verse for Miles?
Yeah, they got Jared Verse.
I mean, he's a real.
We didn't even see Jared Verse. I don't think he played.
Yeah.
But like I said, for me, it was more kind of like watching what the people, what the quarterback battle is going to look like.
So Watson's missed like 2 of the past 3 seasons. He had suspension season.
He's played 19 games since
he played 19 games. Yeah, totally.
He's 9-10.
Right. Yeah. So, look, we could beat a dead horse all we want, but I mean, for you to have played 19 games over the past 3 seasons, I mean, you've played 1 out of the past 3 seasons, and you're the best option the Browns have. It's like, guys, come on, man. Like you knew the season was starting this month, guys. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why if they actually do want to win, I don't know why they just don't sit him. I mean, the money's. I mean, don't cut him because you're gonna have all that dead cap or whatever. I guess sitting him is sort of like cutting him, in that like there's a bunch of money that's not being used. But I mean, yeah.
Here's the thing in Cleveland, and you have to be very careful in this one city, similar to a couple other cities, but nowhere near as bad as most is. In Cleveland, this kind of distraction can take over that team. Like this, this distraction can take over their season. And here we are in the preseason, and you've kind of fucked the dog already. Like this is where you are PR wise in August. Like this is where you are PR wise in August.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really hot. You don't make good decisions.
Obviously,
like that dog was coming on to you. But the Bengals
obviously not the good decisions in August, but
so I
mean one.
Go ahead.
One to not have drafted someone to be ready to go, or trade for someone, or 2 to even realistically think that someone who's played so little football over the past 4 years is mentally, physically, emotionally the best option. Like this is all adding up to a recipe for disaster to me.
Yeah, I do think so. I agree. Yeah, but maybe he'll surprise us. I sure hope not, just for the sake of like justice. but yeah, we'll see.
I think that I think the Browns at most will win 5 games.
At most,
I think they win 5 games.
They won 5 last year.
Yeah, I think that they'll still win 5. I mean,
Wait, hold on. You think at most they'll win 5, or they'll probably win 5? Or both?
At most.
At most.
What do you think they'll probably win?
I think that they'll probably win 3 or 4. But I think that
like them versus the Jets just got really interesting.
Yeah,
I think the Jets are underrated.
I'm kind of with you. I'm no lie. I think the Jets are kind of overrated, but I don't want to get into another team. I want to get into the Bengals because we spent so much time now on the Browns because DGBG's here. I feel like we've done a good job on the Browns.
We can sort of skip along a bit with the Bengals because I only watched the first preseason game. I was a little disappointed with how the starters did, but then, they're not trying. The thing, like I said, I liked Landon Robinson. Joe Flacco didn't actually do that great, but he just looked really smooth and confident. And by contrast, Josh Johnson in that game, sort of like he was there for the second half and a little bit of the first half, and he was just not good. But in the second preseason game, he was actually quite good.
Yeah, he 15 of 23 for 156 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was good, and that's our quarterback 3.
Yeah,
so I like our quarterback.
Sean Clifford, right?
Sean Clifford did okay. Not terrible.
67% of his passes, 126 yards, 1 touchdown, and I think 1 interception.
Are you just remembering that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You really take preseason more seriously than I do.
I take all of football seriously. I don't know what anybody wants.
Well, okay. Landon Robinson, like I said, looked good. All throughout practice, all throughout training camp, the wide receivers have been surprisingly good. There's just a lot of depth in our wide receiver room.
Colby Young.
Colby Young. Dante Myers, I think is his name.
Dante Myers, 5 catches, I think 42 yards.
You tell me.
Yeah, I think it was like Colby
Mitchell
Young
Tinsley.
I think Colby Young had 3 catches.
3 for 8. I think he was 3 for 8.
48. I think it was 3 catches for 48.
Yeah, but he was like he was.
And then of course, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I mean, everybody's, and then I don't think Yoshibas was there, right?
I don't think he played that day. I don't think he played.
So like, and I think Tinsley's been okay in camp. I don't think he was used that much in the game, but like we have like, you know, in my opinion, the best 1-2 punch among any team. The only team that can challenge is Dallas, and I think we're better than Dallas.
But I'd also say your defense had a shutout for the entire second half of the second preseason game.
Yeah, I mean, it was
you guys. I mean, you guys won that handily, 27-9. They scored 3 field goals in the first half, and then they got nothing else out of you.
So we have real depth in the defensive line. Our edge room is fine. Shamar got injured, but he's going to be back maybe a week or 2 after the season starts, or maybe even by the time the season starts. Cassius Howell's been looking great in camp. I think he looked good in the first game. Gosh, I can't remember his name. Miles Murphy, he did well in the second game. He got a sack. I think Landon Robinson got 1.5 sacks. So like, you know, our defense is looking okay. You said there were trouble from the secondary in terms of tackling. What was interesting, who did you have in mind? The linebackers, the safeties, the quarterbacks?
For me, it was the safeties. Like there was a lot of times where I saw like the tackles just were. It was more in the first half than in the second half that I saw. Like, but in the second half there were a couple of tackles that I was like, what are we doing there? I totally agree. Landon Robinson, great. Liam Anderson in your run defense, you know, looks great.
I don't even know who Liam Anderson is. Who's Liam Anderson?
He's a linebacker.
Oh, okay. So he's not. He's like he wasn't on the team last year.
No, I don't think so.
We had like Joe Giles Harris, Shaka Hayward, you know, Demetrius Young, Orm Burke, Bear Carter.
Yeah,
I don't remember Liam.
I was really just like, I really got to say that your defense on third down was really stingy. It was really stingy, and so that was fun to see. You know, to see like kind of how they're scheming in that way.
Yeah, they were good on turnovers in the first game.
Yeah,
did they do that in the second game too?
As far as creating turnovers,
or just lucking into interceptions or whatever.
I don't know if I recall an interception happening during the game. I don't recall. Which might mean they're not one, but also baby. So I don't. There's still things that like I'm forgetting. But no, I think that like your defense was pretty stingy. I feel like maybe there was a turn.
So you had a problem with our run defense. You said it was.
Yeah, I had a problem with the run defense on like certain plays where once they got past like. In the front, your linebackers were great, but once I got into the secondary, I just felt like guys weren't really trying as hard as I could see. There were a couple of like runs that got away from the secondary, but you're stout up front, right?
Oh, we better be. But also like what's funny is that last year in preseason, our linebackers were really good at tackling. And during the season, they missed so many tackles for the first 11 games. But, you know, a lot of that is, you know, they're just rookies. It was fast, you know, whatever. But I think from what I hear again in training camp, the linebackers have really upped their game. I'm not saying they're going to be better than average. My hope is that they'll be average, which would be great. And I think, you know, with the front making everything a lot easier, I think they probably will be pretty successful. But we'll see. You know, I keep on like, do you take predictions seriously? Like, how good is this team going to be? Like, or power rankings? Like
I only whenever they make
power rankings.
Yeah,
I take power rankings seriously, or you just like it when they flatter your team.
Yeah, I mean,
I do take the power rankings seriously, depending on the source. I think that there's so much that goes into that, up to and including the people who are on the field or who will be on the field. Meaning, if there's a significant injury that is getting ready to change the game in one direction or the other, I think that's fair. So I do like the power rankings. I think they
Like
take a lot
preseason
into
power
consideration.
rankings or just like mid-season?
I mean, the further into the season we go, obviously the
Sure.
more valuable I think they are, and the more I like them. But even in the preseason, I feel like people with more knowledge than I have are putting these together. I mean, I put some value on them, but I wouldn't bet on the Super Bowl based on them.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, because I want to ask Jan a question and about the Ravens. I don't understand why everybody thinks the Ravens are going to be so good. I feel like your team's worse this year than last year, and last year your team was actually better than their record.
I don't know
indicates.
that I would agree. What makes you think that they're worse?
Well, okay, they lost a lot of players in free agency, right? Most notably, Linderbaum.
They lost Tyler Linderbaum, who like good starting center, but not the end of the world.
Well, but he had a good relationship with Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know to what extent he was involved.
I just checked, by the way, and looked, and the Bengals did not get any interceptions or turnovers in the game against the Bears.
Okay. I mean, the Bears are thought to have a good offense this year.
Yeah. So anyway, like I would say that we lost Linderbaum, we lost Kolar, we lost Likely, we lost Patrick Ricard, we lost Falele, thank God, and we lost Jordan Stout.
But I mean, like,
and we lost Keaton Mitchell went to the Chargers.
And you got Trey
Hendrickson. I would say that like what we lost were good players, but they were good hardball players.
Oh, okay.
And so I would not say that we are worse. I think what I've seen from Josh Cuevas, what I've seen from some of the Hibner from tight end group has made me feel like we're, Likely great catcher. I don't think that he works in our system for the money that he wanted. I don't think we need the fullback if we're not going with the hardball style of offense. Declan Doyle's got a very different offense. So, like, while I love Pat Ricard, and I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Pat Ricard as a Raven, I don't think we needed him. Tyler Linderbaum, that sucks. Like that guy. Wish we could have kept him. Just didn't work out.
The center you got to replace him is like out for the season.
Yeah, Posick is out. So now we've got a couple others. So now it's next man up. And, that's what the season's for. I guess we're going to figure out like what's going to happen there. I trust EDC to bring in a good person. I think our wide receiver group looks way better.
Hold on. Is that because you got this like wide receiver rookie who everybody's raving about?
Oh, Jacoby Lane and also Elijah Surratt. I'm a little bit more interested in Elijah Surratt because I've seen a little less with him. Jacoby Lane just seems to have amazing hands. He just seems to be able to catch anything if it's remotely in his direction.
Who did they compare him to? Mike, the guy on the Buccaneers, Mike Evans.
Oh, Mike Evans?
His
that makes sense. Mike Evans, I can kind of see that similarity. Mike Evans has got a little bit of an edgier style in the way that he stunts, but I can see some of those. That's interesting.
But your best wide receiver is still Flowers.
Zay Flowers is currently the number one receiver, yes.
Okay. I don't think he's as good as T, but like whatever.
T. Higgins?
That's right.
No way.
Okay.
No.
Okay, T. Higgins would be a wide receiver one on lots of teams.
T. Higgins is great in a straight line, but Flowers is shifty.
T. Higgins is also a great contested catch guy.
Yeah, I will go with you there. T. Higgins can make contested catches, but I don't know that I can say that T. Higgins is better.
Well, regardless, you also have a new head coach. You've got a new, a new everything, right? New DC, new OC. And it's he's the first time he's head coach, mentor. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much that could go wrong, and everybody just seems to be just looking at the upside and not like generally first year head coaches aren't that great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have a lot of, I very much doubt we're going to the Super Bowl. I hope we go to the playoffs. We're going to see like what this team is made of.
You have the second best odds to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't believe in the odds. Like whenever you're asking about predictions, like in that regard, like I think all of that is, fodder for fools to lose their money.
So do you think you guys are a top 10 team, top 5 team?
I think that we're probably we're probably in the top 10, maybe at the very bottom of top 10. Maybe like I still think that like if you're looking at like proven power to me. Like that's what I kind of think about is who's got the power to, prove that they can come back. I think the Bengals are ahead of us. They're probably like number 7
not in the
on a
odds,
top 10.
though. Yeah, but you don't take the odds seriously. And the odds are like market, like betting clearing.
Yeah, I don't bet.
Yeah. Oh,
there's
okay.
too many
You're
variables, and I'm not good with that. I lose money
your
enough
gain.
as it.
Your gain. Your retention. Don't.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't bet. Okay. Well, I think the Steelers are like sneaky good. I think that defense is like really good.
Yeah.
And I'm the jury's out on Aller, but I don't know what to make of. I mean, McCarthy, I think, is a pretty good offensive coach. So like, I'm curious what he's going to get out of you guys. And I'm really curious what he can get out of McCarthy, or we can get out of Rodgers. Like, I don't know if there's any juice left in that, but what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, let's move over to Steelers.
I think it's a good decision to have rested Aaron as much as we have this preseason. I don't think we're gonna get out or get anything out of or learn anything from watching Aaron play in the preseason this year. So it'll be interesting to see him play at game speed for the first time in a couple weeks here as we open the season. I think the battle for that third quarterback is really part of the story of our preseason so far. I think watching Aller go out there and compete as a rookie for that third spot has been really interesting. And for me personally, like I just like the type of player he is. I like the style he plays more so than Will Howard, although Will Howard has been fantastic. I just like that big tree of a quarterback. It kind of reminds me of a guy that I had really good luck with a few years back. And
wait, who reminds you of who?
Aller.
He reminds me of Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck.
He reminds you of Andrew. Okay.
No, I think it's maybe Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I see. Here's my thing with the what I saw out of the Steelers quarterbacks from the last game is that Will Howard, in the first half, I think he completed 10 of 15 passes for 75 yards, but he also took like a really costly 11-yard sack on a third down, and then he threw an interception to the jet safety.
He's the odd man out right now. I mean, he's sitting.
And like they were right about to go into the red zone, and he throws an interception right at like the 8-yard line. And that's just like, woof. And then Drew Aller, I mean, rookie QB, took over a second half. Got a great 38-year deep shot to was a tight end McRee, I think.
I'm not going to compare them talent-wise, but almost moxie-wise.
And then you guys missed a 44-year-old field goal right after that, too.
Yeah. Well, let me get back to that. I remember watching Jackson Dart step onto the field for the Giants as a rookie and thinking, like, I don't know how good this kid's going to be, but his confidence is through the roof. And Aller's not an arrogant player, but he is, I think, very confident. And I think the way he's been playing and I think the way the game has slowed down for him over the past couple of weeks is really making that confidence crescendo right at the right time. I think that if Drew Aller, has another good game in this third game, he is our number 3.
You would call another good game. When was his first good game?
The preseason.
First of all,
was a good
first
game.
Preseason
I was going to say, first of all, that preseason one game was
the last
amazing.
preseason game was 17-0. The Steelers didn't score once.
That's not Drew
By
Aller's
the
fault.
time he came in, I mean, later in the game, he was still slinging it a little bit, but by the time he was in there, game was what it was. Look, Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph is going to be the guy at number 2. You pray that he never makes it onto the field, but in today's game, I mean,
welcome to your starting.
Always
QB.
have to have at least 2 guys ready.
Wait, is he that bad? Why do you hate Mason Rudolph so much? As a player, I mean, not as a person. I don't know how you feel about him as a person, but
he was never my guy. He was never my guy as a Steelers backup. I mean, there are others that. What's that? I don't like immobile quarterbacks.
I mean, but you got Aaron Rodgers.
I just think that like Drew Aller is still a huge project. He's still a huge project.
Yeah.
He's got inconsistent footwork.
I mean, do I
Ball
want him to start
placement
right
is
now?
erratic,
No.
and like he doesn't really escape the pocket very well.
Not ready for him to start. Not ready for him to start by any means. You know, it's not that kind of.
So are you cutting bait on Will Howard?
Bad roll of the dice. Bad roll of the dice. I mean, to have lost all that time last season, now having to compete with Drew Aller, and really competing for a third spot because Mason Rudolph has now entrenched himself so much in number 2. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm loving Will Howard right now.
Does Mason Rudolph, like you guys, the Ravens have Snoop, right, as a really great backup who can emulate Carr. Does Mason like emulate Aaron Rodgers or something? Like,
I think he emulates Big Ben more than.
I was just gonna say I really think it's the comfortability of saying like this guy's been here in the system before. He's been in the building. You know, this is the lowest hanging fruit, so to speak.
Hold on. He's been in the building. Has he been in the system? Like he was in the Tomlin system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But McCarthy.
Yeah.
Has he worked with McCarthy, or does McCarthy run something similar? Like,
I think that McCarthy's game is a bit more demanding from a mobility standpoint, but you know, let's see what that means for Aaron. Again, we have a 43-year-old man out there running around trying to sling a football.
But he also did some surprising things last year too. Like you got to hand it to him. The guy can still move in a funny way. Like he can, not a funny way, but he can still move. Like he actually had some runs against us that like we were like, stop this guy. I was so mad. So mad so many times. So many times.
So real quick, because we talked about this a second ago, and I want to answer Rob's question. Jen, you know, love it or hate it, I feel like pretty soon Jackson's going to start losing a step from season to season, and I'm not sure if we're already there yet.
I wonder.
So I mean, he was injured last season, so we'll see what he looks like this season to see. We'll be able to compare, like, because his 2018, 2019 season's amazing. His 2022 season, very, very not bad. 2023 season, really good.
2024 might have been the best regular season by any quarterback of all time.
Yeah, for real. I would say that I'm curious to see what he looks like because he was pretty banged up last year for a lot of it. So we'll see. He says he feels 1,000%, but I don't know.
But he was running away from guys 6 seasons ago, and I don't know how long you can do that. So,
yeah. But also remember last year, whenever like he like did that crazy play against the Bengals where like he was basically tackled, he escaped, still throw it into the end zone to Likely.
Yeah, and that was awful.
Yeah, it was the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No disrespect. The Bengals played a special brand of defense last year.
Hold on, it might have been 2 years ago. You might be thinking of the one where he stiff-armed Sam Hubbard.
I am.
I think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was like an amazing game.
Yeah.
That was like the 35-34 game where you guys won.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, I get like I am just like everyone. I start each season out with kind of like a flat line of like I think everybody's the worst. So I'm curious to see who's going to come out and prove me wrong because it's very easy as a Ravens fan to buy into the hype, the media, the confirmation bias of it all. And so I am truly a Ravens fan and being skeptical of like, you know, what things are actually looking like. So, you know, is he going to have lost a step or not? No clue. We're going to have to wait to see. Really curious to see how he goes. If he has an all-star year and like just like takes this team further than we're expecting, then I guess we'll know. But I don't know. It's a brand new team.
Well, he got to be a really good passer now.
He's an amazing passer.
So like
he was always a good passer. It's not that he like that's the other thing. He's always been a really good passer. I think he's succeeded well under like Greg Roman because it played to his strength of running. I think he then got better under Todd Monken because it played to his strength of like scheming and throwing.
I just mean that like once the wheels fall off and he's not like a running quarterback anymore, he's still going to be good.
Yeah.
He's just going to be like top 10 good.
Yeah. Then he's just going to be like Aaron Rodgers.
Which Aaron Rodgers? Not
the younger
2022.
one first.
New Rodgers.
New Rodgers. The
One
Jets
thing we
Rodgers.
haven't talked. One thing we haven't talked much about. Look, I'm way more comfortable, and this guy's has done nothing bad to me. I hope I don't see him in a dark alley. I'm way more comfortable with Rodgers playing quarterback than I am with Warren playing running back. I mean, for us to have an undersized, not overly flashy, not overly talented running, like he's not Bijan Robinson, as an undersized running back who's extremely talented, or like a Jameer Gibbs, yeah, who's not that big but just incredibly talented. He's not that. Is he going to score some touchdowns? Yes. I mean, he pulls a player or two out every other week, but am I thrilled that he's listed as running back one number right now? No.
Yeah, because you got you have Warren, and then you've got Dowdle, right?
Yeah.
And then behind that is Caleb Johnson, who's the rookie, right?
Yep.
And then
yep.
I think it's Nichols, Homer, and Heidenreich.
But I mean, out of that group, who's going to carry you to the AFC North title game out of those four guys? Me.
I mean, I still would say that Warren, Dowdle is shifty, no doubt, but I think that Warren is probably going to be your guy. He's clearly RB1. I think that I don't remember how good Dowdle's hands were, but I remember that Warren was able to catch a little bit better last season. If I think about the stats, I got to go back and look, but I was more impressed with the options that Warren gave the Steelers as opposed to Dowdle. But Dowdle is shifty.
We shall see. And let me ask you guys this. Fantasy football from your team. Who are you digging right now from your teams?
Oh, to pick fantasy football?
Yep.
Lamar Jackson.
Chase Brown. Well, obviously Lamar, yeah. But I mean, would you pick him over Josh?
Over Josh Allen?
Yeah. He's not generally considered to be as good as Josh Allen in fantasy this year.
I mean, whenever I've had Lamar Jackson in my fantasy leagues, I'd have to go back and look at the logs and see what I actually won versus what I didn't. But
on my team,
I've always found that Lamar Jackson just has a lot of upside, but I would say that Josh Allen is more consistent of a points earner week to week, but he doesn't have big splashes all the time. Whereas Lamar Jackson has bigger splashes and can go do crazy things in a game that just you're like, Jesus, how did I wind up with 1,000 points right now? But yeah, I would say that the person that I'm always putting on my fantasy is probably Derrick Henry.
You don't see any sign of decline?
Not yet.
Uh-huh.
Not yet. Derrick Henry, last year we had Falele is just horrible as a blocker. And every time I see any play that got blown up that Derrick Henry didn't even get past scrimmage or even a yard or two, it's Falele. Sometimes it was Rosengarten, but Falele was a lot of the problem that I saw out of that.
I think if I remember correctly, after the first 3 games where he had 3 fumbles, Henry actually really did really well.
Yeah, that was another thing. I think that this is something else that I'm interested to see from this Ravens offense under Declan Doyle is that they keep harping on the details, how much more in tune to the details they are. And they are, it seems like that was a big thing, was ball protection. Maybe they weren't getting the same kind of detailed, coaching on ball protection.
Yeah.
It was a really interesting thing that I've heard a lot of Ravens players kind of talk about regarding details and where they're talking about details. So we'll see. If he gets the ball punched out again, then we'll know that he's, this is going to be what it is for him. But
that reminds me, my brother has 2 children. One is 3 and one is 5. And whenever I'm there, I have to consider ball protection because they like to punch out my balls.
You're so dumb.
No, but for fantasy, T, Jamar, Chase, I'm not. I mean, maybe Eric All.
Jamar Chase would definitely be on my fantasy league.
Oh yeah, he's if you can get him number one, get him number one. But
Jamar Chase absolutely would be on a fantasy league.
And then maybe Eric All as a tight end. There seemed to be building a lot of offense around him this year.
You would take him over Yosivas?
Well, Yosivas is a wide receiver. And so
I guess I think of him more as like a tight end. He seems like more of a tight end, but
well, I know Yosivas seems like a tight end and Gesicki seems like a wide receiver.
Right.
But no, I mean officially Gesicki's a tight end and officially Yosivas is wide receiver 3.
Interesting.
But like I think, if you're like getting like a spare tight end, I'm not saying like pick him over whatever Kyle, what's his name? The best, who are like some of the best tight ends. Don't pick him over Kittle or whatever. But I think he's good if you can get like you're trying to figure out, well, which of these tight ends should I get? I don't really know them. I think Eric Alls would probably do you well. We'll see.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I would. I mean, from Steelers, who would I take? I mean, DK Metcalf. I would definitely take DK to put on my fantasy. I mean, he's going to be the guy. Pittman isn't bad, high volume, physical receiver. I think he's questionable for week 1 though, with a hamstring issue right now. And then you've got Roman Wilson, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Roman Williams, your slot, your WR3. Yeah. I haven't seen a lot out of him in preseason, so I don't really know what to think about that. And you got Skoranek. He's interesting. And Wetjen. I don't know what to make of Wetjen yet.
Weejan?
I thought it was Wetjen.
I think you're thinking of a wet dry back.
Caden Wetjen.
Okay.
We're talking about the same guy. I know that.
Yeah.
No, he's been an interesting case so far. Fantastic on special teams, and he's done well offensively so far. I'm going to answer my own question here as far as
you owe it to the
fantasy
audience.
football for my team. I think Darnell Washington is going to be someone.
I love that guy.
If he can get rolling in this year's offense, I think he can be a very, very dangerous red zone pick. And here's the thing, Jan, love what you're thinking with DK Metcalf. I think Metcalf is going to get double teamed all game, every game. I don't think there's
but he still makes
Robin
those
to his
contested
Batman.
catches.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's gonna eat still, but there is no Robin to his Batman on the wide receiver side. But if you can find a way to get both Freiermuth and Washington out there, and you have to decide, which one of those two poisons you want, I think Washington can score some touchdowns.
Yeah.
I
think that it's going to be interesting to see, because I am unsure of Mike McCarthy being the long-term right fit for the Steelers. I know that Todd Monken is not currently in a good position to win games for the Browns. The Ravens are a big question mark. Everybody's hyped about them. Everybody loves Jesse Minter. Everybody's high up on Declan Doyle. And then we'll probably get our faces smashed in for the first 3 games. And everybody's going to get their welcome to the NFL moment. And we'll see whether or not what that team can do. Who knows? I mean, I don't expect them to be the undefeated Dolphins, but I'm very curious. For me, the Ravens are my own question mark. That's why I think I'm studying them so hard, just to see any little trickle of oh, okay, this is a clue. But really, there's so many variables in the Ravens that I'm not quite sure even what they're going to become. I have high hopes, but I haven't really seen enough. I'm curious to see this. I'm really interested in this last preseason game. That way we can kind of understand more about what the starters will actually look like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think identities are all kind of in flux right now with all the coaching changes, all the long-standing position player changes. There's just a lot of questions right now.
Yeah.
Except for the Bengals. I feel like the Bengals are kind of
Yeah, our
Yeah.
roster's pretty
steady.
set. It just
Yeah, pretty
like
steady.
positions 47 to 53 we're still working on. We have like some O-line issues. Like we just got rid of Cody Ford. We're calling it the Ford apocalypse because it turns out he's not a good tackle and he's not a good guard. And he was our swing tackle last year, and now he's not on the team anymore. So maybe he'll play well for some other team. But yeah, we feel pretty set. Like Joe said, it's now or never. He did not mean he's quitting if they don't win the Super Bowl. He just meant this is like the best time for the Bengals in a long time. And it's up to the players to finally perform. The front office has done everything it needs to do. Now it's up for the players to like do it.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So we have one more week of preseason left. The Ravens are playing the Commanders. Steelers are playing the Bills. The Browns are playing the Patriots, and the Bengals are playing the Eagles.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's playing on, let's see. I'm looking at the schedule real quick.
Thursday?
Thursday. The Browns and the Steelers are Thursday, and the Ravens and the Bengals are on Friday. So going into the Bills for your preseason game, August 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern. What are you thinking about, Chris? Let's try. We'll do a real quick lightning round because everybody's got to go, and I can hear a baby crying in the background.
Yeah, so sorry, ask your question one more time because I was thinking about something.
Anything you were looking for going into this Bills Steelers game, this last preseason game?
For me, all eyes are on Aller, on how he's going to play. I do want to see how we're going to use the running backs, especially even in the preseason. I mean, I've got a lot more questions and answers about that running game right now. Defensively, it's hard to say because we're so set and settled on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, you haven't seen a lot of those guys, and you probably won't see a lot of those guys just yet. No, I don't think really much of a need to see, Cam Hayward come out there and prove himself at this point in his career. And when I think about our draft picks, really it was more so on the offensive side of the ball as far as guys that we were expecting an immediate contribution from. So for me, as far as what I'm watching, I do think it's going to be that third quarterback battle because I think in real life that's actually a second quarterback battle if shit ever hits a fan. I think Mason Rudolph is someone that you put into the game the day of, and then I think Drew Aller is who you build around the following Monday, if that makes sense. I can say that one more time. So mid-game, tragedy happens. Rodgers is down. Someone has to come in. It's going to be
Mason Rudolph
for the rest of that game, just to manage us through. But then once you have a moment to get someone settled, get someone organized, and get them in there, I think it'd be Aller who would finish out the rest of the season right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, interesting. Well, we'll see how that goes for you. So what about
hopefully
Bengals?
not. Hopefully not. Hopefully we won't.
So for the Bengals, all I'm thinking of, because like I said, the roster's pretty set. All I'm thinking of are like three things. I want to see if Josh Newton does anything good yet. He's not had a good camp. He's not had two good preseason games. He might not make the roster. I want to see if Taj Brooks, our running back 3, if he can do any better than he's done. He's not done great, but he's not done terrible. But I'd like a little bit more confidence in him. And just, finish up who's got the backup O-line spots. But I think pretty much, yeah, I don't have that much to think about for the preseason game. Just hope nobody gets injured.
Yeah, that's the thing for me too. For Ravens, I am really interested in seeing like more of more out of what the wide receiver group looks like. I think I understand the defense. I think I understand what Jesse Minter's going for on defense. It's pretty clear. Like, I think the offense it was really great for us playing the Vikings because we got a chance to see a Brian Flores defense with a lot of different looks. And that was really great for, our offense to kind of go through that process. So I'm really interested in seeing, how we stack up against the Commanders. I feel like the Commanders are not the better team on regular season.
Oh
but
gosh, no.
yeah, no, I don't think that's a far stretch. But I'm curious to see, like how any of the starters that do play, how they play, if it looks like they're hungry. I'm focusing really more on the offense going into this preseason because to me that's more of a question mark. I know Jesse Minter's defense, that to me has shown itself pretty well. I'm really curious about Declan Doyle's offense and how that continues to develop. And that's for me the key things. There's a couple of players that are on the bubble I'm interested in, but mostly I'm really curious about like the offensive, performance, and especially in play calling and how they scheme around whatever the Commanders give them defensively.
All right.
But yeah, awesome. Guys, this was such a great show. It was great to catch up. I've been dying for it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe the channel. We'd love to see you do that. Check us out on Patreon. We're also on Patreon. AFCNortherners.com is our website. I think there's some updating we need to do, but it's still working and doing well. And we've got all kinds of cool stuff that we're excited to talk about for this season. Even if it's just regular football, it's all good times. But in the meantime, guys, we're going to sign off as we always do with fuck the Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Great to see you. And we'll be hopefully here next week to talk more about the end of preseason and the AFC North. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later. Bye.
And